Good evening, citizens. My name is Chris, and welcome to the LARP Shattersong Diaries.
Oh, you're so tired.
I'm tired?
Oh, it just you sound.
I'm tired, I'm dad.
Well, as usual, I'm joined by my relentlessly irritating co-hosts, Sol and Matty. Say hello.
Hello. You didn't do the fun joke one, so I can't repeat that.
Yep, that was deliberate,
Yeah.
because I'm a boring dad now,
Damn.
apparently.
Since Chris, have you got something to tell us?
Well, that's the real drama here on the LARP Shattersong Diaries, is that I've got an icy child now, and I'm worried that some people in Navarre, you know who you are going to go and kill that icy child because they've already got the blood of children as a favoured delicacy.
Jeez, we're starting off this podcast with a
this
real
got
hit.
Welcome
dark.
to Sunday, otherwise known as the battle day, I guess, as always, because
Battle
not much
pod.
else really happens.
No,
Yeah, I'm also recording remotely for the first time. This is now a remote working.
This is Linda Thornhart on the road.
Yeah, literally on the road.
on Safari.
The mic is better, but the user experience is worse. I.e., me. I am the user, so I think it sounds all right. But if this sounds like dog shit, I'm gonna half-assedly apologise. But the alternative is you wouldn't get an E2 episode until after E3, so deal with it.
Is this like you hear this on the way to Anvil, quite literally?
Quite literally,
we're just
it could be, yeah.
badgering people.
You hear 3 Navari chattering away on the road to Anvil. No one really knows who they're talking to. They seem to be referring to a mysterious other audience, listeners perhaps. Are they practicing for a show? Nobody knows.
I miss the days of like the lore of the band Shattersong Diaries. There was a lot of lore behind this. I think we should harken back to
What
that.
was the lore of the band? Was that not just band lore?
Yeah, it was just band lore, but I think we should get more. I miss it.
More band lore.
It's like Danelaw in England, and there was band law. It was a small.
Do we need like an episodely thing, like something we do? Like now we do the. Oh, we were gonna work a mysterious word into every episode or something.
We didn't. We
didn't think about that.
We haven't done that, or have we, listeners?
Or have we?
Have we indeed?
Quick,
Right.
type something in Discord. No one knows.
Shall we have a think?
A think
about what happened about 6 weeks ago, because we're almost finding out what happened next time.
Oh my god, we're so close.
Winds of fortune and war bombard us
in
like meteors.
1 week's time, literally 1 week's time, we will be in the field,
6
having
days.
had several hours.
And finally, we can be the
time.
dead Shattersong Diaries.
Woo! Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, come on. If it's gonna happen, it's gotta happen now. We've named the pod. Actually, no, we named the podcast that. So now you're gonna live forever.
We've changed one.
It should be Solid the Dead Shattersongs.
We can do it
right?
again.
Right, I'm pitching for my new name. Pitch is Sol and the Dead Shattersongs.
Well, Sol's not a Shattersong.
Oh, Farron and the Dead Shattersongs then.
I've never been so temporarily hurt by hearing something. It's like Sol's not a Shatter song. Genuine grief struck me right there. I'm like, Sol, no, please.
Right.
Do we think that's a good enough intro? I think so. Should we talk about
you
other?
know who we are?
So...
Do they know who we are? Do you think everyone knows who we are?
Do.
I hope so.
I think it's a fun mystery if you don't.
Come on, I'm trying. Like, there's so many segues here. The Druge.
You are. Right, we start
before the Druge.
Sunday. We go to battle.
No,
it's great. The end.
We go to the Orc camp.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
Way
so
to step on the first landmine there, Matty.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, someone had to.
We went to the.
I'm the butt of the joke. I know
it. Because they had hired Black Scar as mercenaries, and this was the first time we'd ever done that. We've been through this.
Yeah.
There's 2 other episodes of us ranting about stuff. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we mentioned this. Anyway, super cool. Way too hot, actually. Still really warm.
I mean, thank God we mustered inside the Orc encampment, though. It was amazing. Even the dappled bits of sunlight were too hot to stand in, with like full armor on and everything.
But I'm not gonna lie, seeing all of those orcs prepare, mustering them, the orc force, and then us mustering with them, it was just really cool. I was just really excited for,
it was
this
awesome.
fight. Bearing in mind that us and the orcs were basically given task kill.
Oh, this is also the first time that I fought like a main battle as just a regular fighter.
In Blackscar.
In Blackscar. Since before COVID, I think, actually.
You're no ordinary fighter. You picked up a bow.
Well, yes, I had indeed, after the debacle of accidentally on purpose shooting Linda several times. Yeah, I got the bow. It was so cool.
So we've got Scotcher 1 and Scotcher 2.
Scotcher 2.
Part of an elite military unit within an elite military unit.
Yeah, the Black Scar Archer duo that formed is the highlight of the battle for me. Probably one of the highlights of the whole event. It was glorious. But yeah, I mean, we started by mustering with those orcs who I think I could see impending doom on all of their faces as they sort of looked at the weather and knew they'd have to be running around for an hour out there. There was that one bird that was going absolutely mental in a tree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was a.
I kept hitting people with the bow. It was
not a cuckoo. No, woodpecker. Woodpecker is the word I was looking for.
Yeah, it was a woodpecker. Yeah. One of those things. It was another bird doing more bird things. As we all kind of got ready, mustered outside the orc camp. They did an amazing speech and chant. We sang on the way down. Oh, that's right. We sang the classic Black Scar anthem, Someone Roll the Piggy. At the top of my absolute dying lungs, with a couple of Druge words inserted instead, which was good fun. And then, oh my god, do you remember how hot it was waiting at the Sentinel Gate?
It was incredibly warm.
I don't think I've ever been that hot. Like, we had our banner, luckily, and a couple of people had their shields up, and if anyone even let that shift, I think I actually felt slightly unwell. That was how hot it was.
There was someone offering around water, not to drink though, to just be dumped on your head, and that was good.
Does anybody want to be soaked? I think was the
No, squirted.
Ooh.
Squirted.
Do you want to be squirted by...
This was a PG podcast until that word came up. Is it the word of the podcast? We'll find out at the end.
You never know. I will say, I can't remember who it was, but they said, oh, you can now say that you've been... you've been soaked or whatever, squirted by someone of the marches, and I cannot remember their name, but they were great. Good sense of humour. Very well, very needed in the moment. Yep. Oh my gosh.
Pre this, I had to run off to the hub as part of the old am I a general, am I not a general shenanigans of the Sunday morning. But I'm going to come back to that later, because more importantly, we were going through the Sentinel Gate.
And I don't think there's ever been such an incentive to get through to the woods really, really quickly.
Oh boy, but that first push, I mean, we were supposed to, inverted commas, scout to try and find, because we were trying to intercept some thralls that were going to get executed, but realistically, we ran up the field a bit.
Haunted Dornish souls or something on the field as well?
Maybe. I honestly don't remember at this point.
Yeah,
we ended up running up a bit. Descended. We're like, the Druze were like, oh, look, we can take them. And then they pushed up, and then we kind of just baited them in. And then all I recall happening is us, as soon as everyone else had managed to actually get onto the field, we just started pushing on the right flank, and they just disappeared. They just... I didn't stop walking.
Yeah, they crumbled quite fast.
It wasn't even it was just speed.
I was so... Yeah, no, but it was, though. I mean, I was really nervous at first, because I hadn't fought with a bow, and it's always a little bit nerve-wracking to do your first fight with a new weapon and everything. There is that, like, real-life nerves that kind of get in the way a bit. So I was sticking to Chris like glue, being like, Linda, where do I go? What am I doing? And then within not very long, I mean, you were like, okay, you do this, hit that one, start walking, and it just didn't take very long to get into a rhythm, which was really nice. And we kept moving. Black Scar were moving, very mobile, and there was that freedom. You probably remember, Chris, but there was I think it was either one of the last battles before the Longest Dark, or maybe the first. No, it would have been one of the last battles after the Longest Dark, before the Longest Dark, where we very disloyally split apart from Blackscar a bit, and just started running around and joining lines and just having a whale of a time. And I got that same feeling from this of like, you go where you're most needed, and that's your responsibility to do without. But it felt less like, oh, we were just abandoning people, more like, no, that's what we are supposed to do.
Oh my god, you nailed it. You became your own like automaton archer block.
So good.
And you were just nailing it. You said that you were nervous. I'm normally nervous before a main battle. But for some reason I'm always nervous. There's always a chance you're gonna die. But I had a Iron Blood tonic. I didn't take it because I actually felt really confident for this one. And it's because it's killed Druge. And last time we had that,
yes,
I had a good time. Don't get me wrong. I had a good time then. I don't think I had as good a time as this time. Which we'll get to the tally at the end.
Oh, yeah. But we are keeping score. The 3 Striders are definitely keeping score.
Definitely.
Well, you kept score for me because I didn't really know what was going on, and I was mostly swept up in, oh, this is kind of like the moving target practice from yesterday. The benefit of which I was really pleased about the fact that actually it doesn't really matter if you miss shots. Like, everyone's kind of expecting you to miss shots, and I think that was the thing at first that got to me. Was I was like, oh, I'm, sorry, by the way, there's some rain in the background that's just started. Glorious rain, just to remind us of how bloody hot it was last event. God. But yeah, no one's really watching going like, oh, you missed it. It's not like a shooting competition. And there's so many arrows around, once you're checking them and everything safely, that you can pick up and just keep going. There's no reason to wait for the perfect shot all the time. You can just go and shoot and shoot.
And you get to watch the life of your targets disappear.
You do.
Oh, it's so good.
Isn't it good?
When it does hit, it feels great. And if it doesn't hit, it's like, well, whatever. And that felt really awesome. That was like a cinematic kind of awesome.
Oh yeah, especially when where the gate is to the open field versus the forest. We're in that loose area, and we were attacking. You took a shot, blew this orc's fucking leg off, and I was like, "There we go.
Yes,
that's 3."
yeah. Also, it's always nice when your friends cheer you on, and Chris is, I would say, sparing with the compliments when they're not deserved. So it always feels good to have someone, especially, Linda is very much like let's go, let's do this, everything's hey, wonderful, which is also a really nice energy to be around. So I was just like, yes, I'm doing a cool thing, and I didn't even really think about it, so that's even cooler. So yeah, it was awesome. And I would say quite early on, I got pulled up by one of the refs because they hadn't seen me fully do a check. On the bow thing. Obviously they're very conscious of arrow safety in particular. It's one of the sort of, you always hear about people who lose glasses or get shot in the face or whatever just for pure accident. And they're just like, cool, just demonstrate the check for me. I didn't see you do the full thing, make sure like and I in the moment I was thinking I did actually do I know I did do the full thing because I've been super conscious of it. But if they didn't see it, that's kind of like when you're in a driving lesson and your instructor doesn't see you check your mirrors. It doesn't matter. You've just got to be more obvious about it. So I was just like, cool, yeah. And I was more obvious about it, and I didn't have a single issue after that. I was so pleased for all the time that we'd spent the day before. Because, man, that helped so much. Otherwise, I would have been bricking it. Like, I don't know what to do safety-wise.
And it's because I have a pair as well, because I felt like I was able to stamp my dad ticket for the day, and kind of like escort, not escort you around, but I feel like the first
it
5
worked.
or 10 minutes, it was very much
following.
Your your technical skill with putting an arrow on, pulling a string, firing it accurately.
Exactly,
you had that nailed down yesterday, but then doing it in combat, suddenly it's very stressful. There's a lot of things happening. Placing your feet and trying to get a good shot and knowing where the enemy are, it's different with with melee. You've got a big blob of you versus a big blob of them, and you're facing each other down. and you whack each other to the front, and if you get flanked, you're kind of dead, and that's the simple arithmetic of combat. But with archery, if you get caught, you're dead. You can wear chain all you want, might help you with a couple of arrows coming your way, but as soon as the melee troops catch you, one or two of them will hack you to bits because you can't defend yourself with the bow. You can drop it, but you pull out a sword. It's not like you're going to have like a sword and shield easily within reach. For any D&D players, if you get annoyed at the idea of spending an action or half an action to change weaponry, just try like putting your bow away and then pulling out a sword and shield. It takes at least 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. It was, I'd say I really liked that half of the point was just to kind of scarper if people ran towards you, but also everyone around us was so conscious of like, oh, there's that unarmored archer running away from an orc running straight towards them, and they would just jump in immediately.
I'll jump ahead to the bit in the woods where you two were away from the blob as you were the whole time, kind of skirmishing around us. Perfect. There's this one orc that I think Ferret had gone up to, and they started to kind of run left, and they were like, oh, I was literally just saying, leave him. And then the one guy started running directly at you, Isa, at the back. And I went, no, I'm not letting that happen. Sprint in chain.
Not our archers.
Isa! Then look out! Just sprinting. Yeah. And fortunately, we gave him enough of a scare, and he got notified that he just ran off. But
yeah, it was awesome. It was another one like the fight the day before that we'd watched, where it was another one where there was a lot of there wasn't really a front and a back line.
No.
Which was really nice. I mean, I definitely overwhelmingly prefer that vibe of a battle. It feels a little less sort of dull in a way.
Yeah,
really interestingly.
It just gives a different vibe.
Our group here, us three, are probably the three members of Blacksguard that do move away from the blob the most. Like... You two are archering. I'm
I moved so far. I went and led the Navarre instead.
Oh, nice.
How'd that turn out for you, kiddo?
You're dead too.
Hey, I got killed in Anvil. The Druge never laid a finger on me. But
that's the one thing you can say. The Druge never laid a finger on me either. It's the bloody Jotun.
You're the scouting archers. I'm just some dude in chain, like keeping an eye out for
what are you saying about the one and only sewing machine of Liathavan? Just some dude in chain.
Yeah, just some dude in chain.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Top news for the Inquiring Inkcap. Sewing machine of Liathavan is kind of mundane.
Yeah,
just
really
some dude in chain.
Just some dude in chain. Well, if we're gonna tally up just before we go into the woods, have a figure in your head. And then I'll tell you, it was 10. It was only 10 at that point.
But I don't know. I really wasn't tracking, I suppose, because most of the shots that I managed to get off, I'm pretty sure, like, in the moment, weren't lethal. But like you were saying, Chris, they were shots that then they got killed because of.
Yeah,
you know? That's why I wasn't really counting.
Death,
assist counts as killing
blow.
Yeah, so I wasn't really counting most of those because you just focus on, okay, I've done a hit, who's the next person to hit? Although, amazing shots, or rather, less amazing, memorable shots, was one of the first ones that I was making. I hadn't really hit anything yet.
Oh, yeah,
and I was
shooting
at the top of the field into, well, I don't know if you saw this one.
We were kind of, I swear, I just forgot the entire first half of the battle. I forgot that we started on the main field. Fuck me.
Yeah, we were on there for quite a long time. And then we were up at the top of the entrance to the copse, where the trees start for ages. And I had the most beautiful shot. And as I let it go, some Dornishman with an enormous sword just flicked his sword, like, down for some reason. And my arrow pinged backwards off his sword, and I was just like, no, that would have been the one that hit. I mean, it might not have been, but still,
so
I was like,
Knight saved a
typical.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
There's a really good moment for the melee fighters of Blackscar at that point as well. Top of the cops. Top of the cops. The orcs were they were their own blob, and we were next to them. We worked really effectively doing that. but there was one point where they'd sent in another like Druge skirmish unit around the flank of the cops, and people instantly started yelling, "Black Scar!" We turned up like that. It was just instant move. Shields down, last orders obliterated, move on. Next. It was just perfect. It's the most satisfying call I think we've ever had of that.
Honestly, you guys, I really didn't feel like I know we were kind of staying close-ish because we kept the banner in eye, and the banner, phenomenal, working so well. That is just the most incredible upgrade that we've had. It looks awesome. It's useful on the field. Yeah, thumbs up for the banner. But whenever I did see you guys, you looked fantastic. Not like overworked, not like, I mean, you know, in E1, your run absolutely ragged, and you did an amazing job despite the intense circumstances. But here it was like, oh yeah, you just having an absolute fantastic time. Yeah, having a good time, and doing what Black Scar does best. And oh my god, just who doesn't love killing some Druge? It's just a good time.
I did get my favourite shot. Technically not the best one, and I'll explain why, but I did get my favourite shot of the event. We were going up the field, right-hand side, early battle. I think you saw it, Sol. There was one Druge captain kind of doing the usual thing of being about 10 metres forward from the line and heckling the Dornish, which I can personally say is a lot of fun. And he's maybe 60 metres away, and I'm like, yeah, I'll slot him. Arrow goes up in the air, and it lands right between his eyes. You have a headshot. Now, mechanically, that's, a bad, Chris, because you don't aim for the head. I wasn't aiming for there. It was a long shot, and it just went high, so my bad.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's only one hit point, so, thematically, you shake your head, you go, grrr, damn Imperials, and then you keep going. But this monster just dropped dead. it went blah. Brains exploded all over the place, and he took a moment to go, the arrows hit me, threw himself backwards, laid on the floor, dead. And Amazing. It was so fucking satisfying. I ran over to him to A, get the arrow, and B, go, sorry mate, didn't mean to hit you in the head. And he was like, no mate, great shot, didn't see it coming, great shot. And I've never felt more humbled by a monster, at least at that event.
Aww.
It was good. Excellent. It was a good wholesome kill.
Good wholesome vibes, wholesome death vibes.
Yeah, and then we just chased them up the field on the right flank for the next 10-15 minutes. They didn't slow us down.
No, it was faster than that. I think 10 or 15 minutes we were then actually basically going through the gate. And then we pushed round to the left, and that's where we had a bit of deja vu. That fort once again.
Yep, which wasn't an objective. It was just a small amount of wood in a fort-like shape.
But it was a respawn point, which we learned.
Oh.
That would explain a lot.
Which is why it was an absolute slaughter of Druge within the walls of that fort. They tried to hold the line this time, and we said no. Took them from both sides. Just murder, more murder, and then they started.
I do remember going inside.
Respawning at the back, and then running in, formed a line, cut them down, didn't let them in. It was just so good. So There's not really much to say other than we killed a lot of Druge.
We killed a lot of Druge. It was awesome. I mean, the fort was where we went in and they got it, and then they started coming around the side, which was probably when they were respawning from the back. Yeah. And they were just like, oh, we're going to maybe come around here. And we just shot them again, and it was fine. But I got some scary orcs ran straight up to me, and I legged it. Yeah. Got cleaved in the leg, fell halfway into the fort as this orc who I've never seen before. I struggled to recognise the orcs, I'll be the first to say it. I'm bad with faces at the best of times. Doesn't help when you don't see them very often, and they just orcs. I'm not going to say they all look the same, because that's not what I mean.
A lot of them
but I do go very face blind generally. Anyway, point being, did the most amazing healing roleplay ever, where he just kind of went, oh, yeah, you're right. What's wrong? I was like, oh, I've got a cleaved leg. Really hurts. He was like, oh, okay. Don't look at this. And pulls out like a LARP safe cleaver, like an actual meat cleaver. It was huge. I was like, okay, genuinely a little bit like, okay, taken aback, but you know, we're rolling with this. This is fine. So I had no real. It wasn't a struggle to RP the. I'm gonna just turn my face away for a bit and sort of, you know, yelp loudly a few times, because man, it was very funny. It was like, yeah, no, it's fine, everything's going well. Meanwhile, people are dispatching the others, like wherever you were. It was great.
I remember a point. I think it was as they pushed around the side. Lindo yelled to me. Do you remember what you yelled?
Almost certainly not, because I forgot the first half of the battle.
This is the second half. This is in the fort.
Oh, the fort. What did I yell? Because I never went in the fort. I was.
No, you weren't.
No.
But guess
Outside.
who else wasn't in the fort?
I don't know.
Sparkles. No, Corwin. Ex-Sparkles.
Oh my gosh, yes. Sorry, I lied. I did step into the fort. Wow, this is all flooding back to me now. It's almost like it's been 6 weeks. Yeah, so you lot are kind of clearing out the fort and, getting the rats off the sinking ship, so to speak. And then another group runs around let's call it the gate side, or the side nearest the gate to the monster tent.
That's
in the OC area. And there's a particularly mean-looking orc, and I shoot at him. I miss. I skitter back into the fort. He chases me, and then Corwin, the hero, goes in and batters the crap out of him. But I'm not looking because I'm running, and I hear the word venom. I turn around and Corwin is kneeling, and that's all I have time for, because I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. So I believe I've remembered what I said to you, Sol, and that was, Farron, help, help. Corwin's been venomed.
Yeah, you did. And just some dude in chain, also known as the sewing machine of Leatherman, takes this upon himself to go and save Corwin. And Corwin was worried because it was a 2-on-1 at that point, and he'd been venomed, but he was actually all right. He was just a little bit nervous. He's a very good fighter. He could have done it. But I turn up anyway. I take one of them on the left, who starts kind of running away, because who wouldn't?
Because you would.
Yeah.
And I'm not letting him get away. So I charge him. Full on sprint, charge him down. He's got a spear, I've got my 2 ambies. And I go to do as I normally would, knock the spear to the side, get in close, kill. But what I failed to do was knock the spear to the side. So it just went straight into my gut.
Oh!
But then instead of going, oh, that's nasty, I just kept walking. So taking a hit a second as I essentially skewered myself on his spear, putting him down.
Oh my god, proper like rabid.
I was counting, and I got to like 2 hits, and I went, I've got to go, and I didn't actually manage to put him down, but man, it was so close.
It was
really sprinting away, trying to make sure, having to dodge out of a couple more rocks, just get in camp, and I literally just fell on the floor and went, Tiki, as it got all the way through. Help!
Because I felt so bad, because I'd run from this fight.
Yeah.
I'd sent Farron in, started arrow checking, and literally as I was walking back out the gate, I'd come in. Farron's limping around the corner like a wounded cat, and it was really like this little limp you had. It was so heartbreaking. Like, you were badly hurt, man. And I was like, this is my fault. And I'm scared. Linda's scared at this point.
I did this to myself. I could have avoided the spear, but no, I just decided that I could outbleed
my
him.
My theory
Apparently
is
I
that
couldn't.
Sol, not Farron, but Sol, my theory is that you are an actual berserker and you just don't know it yet. Because legitimately, the like crazed rage in your eyes, it's not even rage, it's just craze. It's kind of enthusiasm. That's the scary part. That comes
when I
over
smile at the orcs going, I'm going to enjoy this.
There is genuinely, there's something that comes over you, and I'm like, yeah, that's frightening. That's really frightening. Are we sure Sol's okay?
In this case,
and
Sol
then
was not Matty.
death ensues. Well,
no,
okay,
I was fine.
I was
like
fine. Farron was in danger.
Farron was fine. I wasn't stressed. I wouldn't have taken the fight.
That. You look badly hurt. And then also, Corwin hasn't come back with you. Is Corwin dead? Farron's badly hurt, and something's about
Corwin
to
was fine. He'd rolled
corner.
into the fort. We were all fine.
You did in the end, but it was one of those moments I was like, whew, that was
Linda worries too much.
That was close.
No, it's lovely.
It's one of those. It's like wet or dry powder. When you're not in control of the scenario.
No.
That being a teaser for a future episode of this podcast.
Maybe. It took a long time for What's the Longest Path, and it'll take a long time for Hoist.
You'll make it happen, I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, the other thing was outside the fort was where I managed to hit some Navari. I recognized legs and armor for the first time. I was like, oh, I actually know those people I'm fighting against as orcs. I definitely recognized them. So I got to take a few pops, and I got a few of them. I think I got Justin in the leg. I got I don't know.
I mean, if you're gonna recognize anyone,
one of the Black Leaves.
Justin's gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm glad you interacted with the Black. Like, to be fair, I saw the Black Leaves too, because they were the ones I was yelling at when I was an orc, so they did the same thing to me. It was great.
I can't believe that I've already managed to forget his name. What's the one who spends time in military council?
I don't know. General Blackleaf?
Percy Blackleaf.
Percy Blackleaf.
It's called Percy Blackleaf. There you go. Yeah, so I got him in the armor, and he was only wearing medium, so that felt good.
Nice.
It felt good, and by that point I was like, yeah. And so a few people came up and were like, yeah, you got me, and I was like, yes, did I? Yes, amazing, great.
You did save my life, actually, Matty.
Did I?
Before we got into the forest. Do you remember we were going into the little copse of trees on the main field? We kind of skirted around the top, and we came in to stop them pile driving us from behind.
Yeah.
And one of them, who looked either suspiciously like Cheeks or suspiciously like one of the Iron Hill, was running at me. And I thought, and it was eye contact running. And I was like, all right, here we go. This is, one of us is dying here. I take a shot, miss. A theme for the day. And then I pull out my butter knife. And just as he's rounding the corner to finish me, because I've got, 2 hits. I play hardcore mode. You hit him in the fucking thigh just as he's lifting his left leg, and the chain has slid off it. So it goes right on the inside of the thigh.
I don't even
and
remember.
He goes down like a
things.
sack of grain. And I was like,
that's awesome.
Thanks, Isa. Fuck. I was not in control of that scenario.
Well, I'm very glad. This is quite fun because I feel like more than even in regular melee, I definitely somehow just wasn't tracking things that happened. I feel like I just sort of let off a shot and I was instantly thinking about the next one to the point that I didn't even really notice what had gone on at the other end. So it's actually nice to hear that apparently I did do some good stuff.
Yeah, you did great.
Because I genuinely would have no idea about most of this.
Yeah, because you're in because with melee combat, right, your area of awareness is like 5 meters. Is there someone near me hitting me with a stick? Because, how many people know of an arrow is coming at them and then let it happen? 0. Mm-hmm. You're well aware of the archer, so you got your shield up, or you get fucking shot. And there's very little in between those two states of being. But as an archer, you've got to be aware of your 5 meter circle and your lack of hit point / protection, and also enemy archers, and your ammo count, and your position.
There was so much. Yeah, a few other brief highlights before I forget them were all the archers sharing arrows, being like, oh, there's some over here, some over there, if you got any, if you got enough, that kind of thing. Really nice. That was just so wholesome, among a big battle. I think I've already mentioned this to you outside of podcast times, how it really felt like a sort of through line across all of the nations of you're like the goalkeepers of the football field. You're a little different from the rest of the field. So you've got that kind of feeling of camaraderie despite
you're not just some dude in chain.
You're not just some dude in chain, No, but that was awesome. And then, do you remember, Chris, right at the beginning, we got into
the forest. Is this the what's
top.
This?
It might be. It was when we got to the top, and you said, "Oh, there's loads of them coming. Let's go forwards, and you'll see what happens."
Watch this comment, and I'm so glad someone was there to see this.
No. Wait, was it this bit? Was it the bit where you said, come forwards with me, and we're just going to stop them?
Yeah, this was
and there was
like
a whole flank coming forwards. Yeah, just
inside
the top of the main woods. there was a whole new flank of Druge coming up, like the back of everyone or the side of everyone. I can't remember exactly what we were facing at the time. And all you said, I was like, okay, there's a lot of people there, and you went, no, we'll stop them. Like, and I presumably watch this if you remember that line specifically.
Like, follow me, watch
this.
So,
pulled up the arrows, notched the arrows, drew them, like just walked forwards into the empty space next to each other, and I was going, oh god, like just preparing to run. Actually, some other archer showed up beside us, like about half a minute after that, like literally about 15-20 seconds later. There was another archer doing the same thing with us. I realized
too late
because I said something
the cool crew were doing.
Well, no, but the cool thing was that they had like, I was saying something to you like, oh, there's one over there, and they just immediately went, oh yeah, we're aiming for that one, and I didn't even realize it wasn't you at first, and I went, wait, what, who, what? And we just kind of were in sync as well, so I was already like, yeah, this is great. But yeah, before that, we just lifted it up and they just stopped.
Yeah.
They legitimately just like kind of looked at it and sort of faltered enough that they just stopped. They didn't like point blank stop, but they kind of did. They sort of stumbled to a halt. The vibe was
because they were going, let's call it 5 meters a second. We show up, they go 1 meter a second and start to look a bit unsure. One of them rushes us. I blow his fucking kneecap off. His friends drag him back, and then the vibe changes because at that point the Imperials react and turn around, and it's the usual standoffish battle line. But literally the two of us stopped it, and only one of us fired. And after that, the combat kicked off. Matty shot a guy, and he hopped away, which is funny.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did make a point of that one. That was there was a rules infraction, but it got handled, so it's fine.
Yeah, you lose a leg.
That's what the refs are for.
Basically, is the rule.
You're allowed to crawl, but you are not allowed to hop.
Yeah.
You're allowed to commando crawl if you've been cleaved, but you must have your butt and basically your butt to the ground, or hips if you're on front commando crawling, I guess.
Yeah.
So but that was man.
That was just showing like the tactical usage of archery. Really, really powerful. Really, really cool.
Yeah,
and also
really
that was the point where I realised you and I were in sync, because there were a few moments after that.
You looked so good.
Yeah,
honestly.
A moment later,
it was non-verbal, Sol. It was non-verbal because a few.
It was after the fort was when it was non-verbal, because after the fort we were going around somewhere, and I think instead of saying something, I just kind of pointed, which was sort of normal, It's not the weirdest thing to do in the world, but you just kind of looked at me and went, oh yes. This is amazing.
Yeah, because I looked over.
That was it.
Mentally nodded like, yep, that's exactly where I was going, and then I realised we've got the hunters almost sync in there, where we're thinking the same way, we're seeing the same things, and we've got the same response to it as well. It was very well-oiled machinery.
It was a beautiful moment. I think that was also the moment when, I mean, I'd kind of already thought like, oh yeah, this is great and this is working really well. But I felt like I saw in your eyes in that moment that you'd gone, oh yeah, this is actually really going to work.
The moments of rare praise.
It's working as a thing.
It's gone from praise to
like
adoration.
as an actual idea as well, rather than just like, oh, we're just kind of archer buddies this time, to like, oh, we could build something on that. Yeah.
Yeah, Navarchers, we could watch out. The Scarchers are after you.
Only when we're on opposite sides of the battlefield, though.
Well,
again, we might be, if we're going to keep murking with the orcs. Like
it would be fun. It would be fun.
Orcs aren't always put with Navarre, so
it's true. And you know what? I mean, it's not like we wanted to. Certainly, I didn't want to not be with Navarre.
Yeah,
that wasn't what I wanted. But there was a real, like, intrigue and excitement about not being with Navarre. And I mean, for me personally, going from having led them so much to having to fight next to them, I would have still felt a bit like, it was like really nice distance.
Oh, we did it for you, Matty.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, I remember that in the plot doc. It was the bit that you weren't invited to, Matty, but we all had a big meeting around how to develop your game.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, you shouldn't have. You went and got a Merc banner for me. No, you didn't. But it was awesome. It was convenient timing for my dying, actually, because OC had so much conflict around like the Merc banner being such an awesome idea, but also the FOMO of being like, but if you're not on the same battle as Navarre, I won't be able to fight with you.
We might have killed you.
Hey,
if you'd still been alive.
Yeah, you might. Oh, I would have
ripped you apart.
Hoped for it. That's the death I would have wanted, you know? That would have been a good death. But either way, I didn't have to even think about it in the end because I died first.
Indeed not.
Yeah.
And one final point from my battle before I'm done.
Go for it.
Matty got 9 kills, confirmed. I got 7, so Matty's officially 2 ahead. But it does bring my total.
Can you keep counting for me? Because I'm never going to be able to keep track of that.
You're going to have to write this down, kiddo, because I'm on the lofty heights of 136 dead Druge now.
Not this fight.
Not this fight, but overall.
Dead Druge or dead barbarians?
You know what? I genuinely think it's dead Druge because there's been There was one battle against Jotun. I think I went melee. No, that was it. I was a banner bearer.
Yeah. For E1.
Yeah, so it is, and then I've counted Druge on skirmishes and stuff. I've not fought many Jotun on. Yeah, it's all been Druge.
I'm excited to do some skirmishing and stuff again now that I've got I've got the time. I've got a weapon system that I can use.
Time.
Look, some people can have it, so that some people don't have it. That it works as a trade-off. It's your turn. It's your turn now.
Yeah. But the final part.
I just wanted to comment on it was a very well done fight. I think we mentioned on the Saturday that the refs were giving time to drink water, and they sort of did in this one. We were just very good at it. Lots of breaks in between the Druge killing. So that was nice.
Always nice to have a break between killing Druge.
And then we basically I'm not gonna lie, after that fort fight, I don't think we did much more, and then kind of left. Having killed all the Druge we needed, and I think it was a very successful fight.
Well, I mean, we got mistaken for Druge by some Imperials who, to be fair, we also weren't sure if they were Imperial or not. Hey, we weren't sure if they were Imperial or not for ages. So we were kind of approaching them in a really sketchy way, being like, are they monsters? Are we supposed to... Yeah, but to be fair, there were no other Navarre on the field.
Yeah,
so
we walked up to
them. There was a reason for their mistake.
Just an arrow landed, 10 metres shy of us? It was a shit shot. If you're listening, you're shit. But yeah, it's like, we're Imperial, you dingus. And then, because
we thought you were Druge.
Yeah, but they didn't believe us for the first 20 seconds. And then we'd had to put our weapons down. And say,
to be fair, yeah, they were a bit like,
this is a
wait,
trap.
are you? And we're like, yeah, no, legitimately. They're like, but we didn't know there were Navarre on the field. We're like, yeah, we're with the Merc banner. Don't worry, legit.
Yeah.
Which is, to be fair, Navarre have not merced within my LARPing memory. So
ever? No, I haven't seen it. I've seen the Sea Wolves.
They definitely have before, but not in our time.
Not in our time, no. But we're talking literal years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, okay, fair enough that you know, it happens. Also, we didn't take it that badly. To be fair, I thought we were very magnanimous about the fact that they tried to kill us.
We were magnanimous. What a word, indeed. Yes, we were.
Was that the word, folks? You don't know yet.
Has Matty won the secret competition? Find out at the end.
So
there's one final thing.
What's the final thing?
Oh, are you going to talk about that? Can I say from my perspective, because I didn't know anything. So, Chris and I, Lindy and Isa, are towards the back of the group as everyone's starting to retreat, and we're going, okay, we need to leave.
Retreat.
Leave.
Yeah,
sorry,
there was no one to retreat.
Victorious leaving. And we're like, oh yeah, okay, we're just gonna go and catch up with Blackscar. And we're approached by what looked like some Leaguers, I think. I thought they were Leaguers, or maybe Varushka. I think I thought they were Varushkans. Yeah. On the field, being like, oh, do you want to buy anything? And I was kind of like, oh, this is just some opportunistic low comms. Yeah, who were like, oh, we can just make a quick bit of coin here on the field. And I was like, no, I have no money. This is annoying. We need to just get to the thing. And Lindy starts pulling out pouches like, actually, what have you got? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, waiting around. And they were like, oh, we've got some of this, some of that, some stuff. And I was like, oh, it doesn't really mean anything to me. I don't have any money anyway. I was like, I'm just going to go and catch up with Black Scar. I leave you to it. You come jogging up, like, probably a good while later. I was really dragging my feet to give you a chance to catch up.
Minutes,
and yeah, it was quite a while. And just went, Isa, I've bought some stuff. And you showed me the most enormous stash of what you had bought, which I will not ruin your.
I'm going to say it has redacted in the
document.
I think it might have to be redacted, but you just were like, I bought so much. I've bought everything that they have.
I was in the same boat as you, thinking opportunistic sellers, but there was something about them. I was like, they've got an actual box.
There was a
What's
cheeky
in the box? And when they opened it, just to say, yeah, we've got potions for brave heroes like yourselves. And I saw redacted, and I know what redacted looks like.
So that would be the difference, yeah.
And you were like, oh, whenever you left, I was like, Matty. In my head, I'm like, Matty has no idea what this is. But Linda does.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah.
There was some very cool
you were just like, I've just spent like however much money of like an extortionate amount of money. Like, I've bought all their stock. And I was like, what? What is even happening right now?
That's the thing about field selling.
We're on a battlefield.
Nobody brings cash, right? So,
yeah.
You know, the prices are super low. They're desperation prices for both the vendor and the buyer, right? And they just said, look, give us like 4 thrones. You can like take what you want. And I said, I've got 10. Give me the box. So they did.
Oh my god!
Wow.
And, very cool. God. Redacted with them in some RP that covered redacted, and then I said, pleasure doing redacted with redacted, and I jogged off to find you, Matty.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then immediately told everyone about it, of course.
You immediately told us all. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
But it was one of those moments of like, like they don't know it, I don't think, but they could not have picked a better person to approach in that one moment for every reason.
It was full.
You had the money on you as well. Like, what a good coincidence.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Oh, that got shout out actually. Those the coin dispenser pouches.
They're really cool.
Damn it, I've forgotten the name of the person who makes them. But you might have seen around Anvil where
Fog.
Fog it, whatever. But yeah, very useful. Can confirm. Happy customer. Very nice. Much good. Much wow.
Oh, you bought one?
I had. Yeah, this was my first event using it, and it was so convenient.
Oh,
it's like old bus conductor coin dispensers. So you've got like a little column for each size of coin.
They're gorgeous.
It's so useful.
Yeah, if you've got loads of cash, like some people do. Other people with less cash might find them less useful.
Yeah, it's not going to be useful for me.
Aspirational, perhaps.
Yeah,
so I think that was kind of the battle, right?
The count.
Oh no, there was one last shot.
There was one last shot.
And you know what? Me going, oh no, there was one last shot. It's kind of how it felt in the moment.
Really?
Which was right as the column was coming down the field to leave the gate. There was one last Druji fucker hanging out, like right over the side as you're coming onto the field, the right hand side by the fence. There was this one Druji guy, like just sort of baiting everyone, being a good classic Druj, good roleplay, well done. And I thought, I've got loads of arrows still in my bag, and I kind of don't want to stop shooting because I'm having such a fun time. So I just kind of drew one, and I was like, said, I'll just use it as target practice. Like, genuinely, I wasn't expecting to hit anything. I was like, just be fun, use some of the arrows, doesn't matter that much. So, draw the shot, miss the first one, goes, target practice, yeah, you need it. And I was like, yeah, well, that's why I'm here. So...
Yeah, positivity.
Sorry, better lines next time. And I drew the next shot, and at that point, Highguard Jack, I don't know what his new name, I think it's just Jack of Highguard or something, but who had been the field marshal for this battle, started peeling off further up the line and just sort of marching towards this person who clearly started to panic. Anyway, I pulled the shot. I just drew it and let it go, and he was running so fast, and it fell literally like probably an inch behind his heel as he was legging it. And I was like, oh my god. I could not believe that I got that close. But I mean, in an amazing way. I was really pleased I got that close. So it was my last shot of the battle, and I felt very good about it. Even if I missed very publicly, it was so close that I didn't even feel bad about it.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was my last literal parting shot. It was awesome.
So, my count, my final count of the battle. Bearing in mind the objective was 500 Druge dead.
Oh yeah, I don't know if we clarified this. The objective of the battle was just kill as many Druge as possible.
And there were a few others. But, yeah.
That was the main
one, wasn't it? Drum roll, please. Don't please. It's bad on audio, so don't do that.
I did one anyway.
24 Druge killed and executed.
Hooray!
Nice.
Grand birthday party.
Can we do like a popper sound?
24 damage each, if you will.
That's so appropriate. I love it.
No, and I heard that there were actually many others on that battle that got pretty much the same, or I have heard more. So
that's awesome. I remember
very good.
Skywise Rauka, when we were going on at the beginning, said something like, "There's this many of you, and there's this many Druge that need to be killed. So just do this many each, and we'll be golden."
Yeah,
that's what happened. So
solid work.
What like a dream? Anything you say, Skywise Rauka.
It's just so much fun killing that many Druge.
Oh, it is.
It was a good objective to have. A really good objective.
They always have fun. And then I think we were basically on a little segue to the end of the event. I'm gonna just quickly run them down, and then we can go over to you, Chris. I think it's probably the best way to do it.
Sure.
First things first. I gotta get a toasty. It's incredible. Next, we've talked about the toasties. We're not sponsored. #not sponsored.
Unless I was going to ask, was it the
still
sponsored toasty? But it is the sponsored toasty.
It is. It's always the sponsored toasty.
Definitely the sponsored toasty.
They ran out of my favourite one. My second favourite one was still there.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
It's just as good.
No.
Then we run to MC. I write my first orders.
Woo.
Hey,
what were your first orders?
Read them on
the wiki.
Website.
Damn it. Wow.
Next, hop over to go get a ritual cast, and here's where the bit earlier then comes and bites us, and it's like, you're not actually a general, and we're like, what? Yeah, you don't have Dominion of the Army, and it's like, what?
It got very mechanically complicated.
It was really mechanically complicated. Lots of back and forths with the people in the hub, because basically the senators were very much 100% sure that they'd gone and got told that they didn't need to, and it's very confusing mechanic stuff, and I don't really need to go into it, but it's just annoying. Either way, the ritualist, what is his name?
Orlus? The Warcaster? Or was the other one that I don't know the name of?
Oh, Abel. Is it Abel? I think it's Abel.
I don't know the name of the
Abel the Tall versus Abel the Horned. I can't remember. It's literally been 6 weeks. I think it was Abel. Very good, whoever you were. Was like, well, we'll just do all of the RP stuff so that we've made sure it's all done, and then we can sort it out afterwards. So I got a really cool ritual.
It was awesome. It's the first time I've seen one.
Is it Brotherhood of Tian? Is that the one?
You got Brotherhood of Tian. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was ritual. So cool. It's honestly the most immersive rituals thing I've ever done. It's so cool. I honestly felt like I was in a video game of sorts. It was.
I was so pleased to just stand there and watch it. It was impressive.
I had to make sure that I was focusing on the main caster, him, Abel, and not be distracted by all of the awesome spirits and voices who were going to be pestering, which was all fine. Like they were saying things in your ear and moving around. The one thing that got me, the bastard that had a fan and just started wafting me. I was like, you just instantly, in that heat, look towards it. But yeah, 5 minutes later, ritual done. Really good. Let's see, I'm smashing through this now. Mm-hmm. We then go to the hub and back again to gods to continue the fiasco.
It was a sort of god hub.
God hub thing. I would like to speak with the manager, Matt P. Etc. They basically said it wasn't done super helpful ritual person. It was just a faff. But
yeah,
in the end, an email was sent, everything was confirmed, and I was given Dominion of the Army, and it's me. I'm acting general.
Hi,
Woo.
I'm the problem. It's me. I think
And
I
then,
spent probably the last 20 minutes of the event sat writing everything out on a piece of paper. So
yeah,
that I can hand
really
it into
appreciate it because I was just dead at this point. I was just so
Yeah.
tired,
It's
exhausted.
annoying when it's the OC mechanic stuff that kind of gets a little bit in the way of something. So
Not literally dead citizens.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Soon.
And then it was basically back to pack up and sort stuff out.
Home
Bam.
time.
Sunday.
Oh yeah, because by that point we started hearing about the storm, I believe.
The storm. Ooh.
Storm. The spooky
and
storm.
Chris, you did some final things, including a ritual, perhaps.
Indeed. Oh gosh, how did you know, Sol? You've read my mind. It's almost like
I've read
a document.
The document in front of us.
Oh wow, gosh, got me. So, when I got off the field, there was
Whippoorwill.
What I've only described as further Tillian drama. If you don't know what that is, go watch the previous episode. After that, didn't sort itself out and in some way escalated, you could say.
Sorry, Sol's just saying words now.
This
is distracting. Stop being an autumn ritualist.
Yeah, I see. I thought I'd do that. Also, they could be the word.
It could be. I was just thinking, are you just trying to squeeze the word in? Anyway, Tillian drama.
You did a ritual.
Not over. Did a ritual.
Wait, what ritual did you do? Did I miss that?
Mr. Cambion did rampant growth on my forest and my chaos fruit. So now I am the proud owner of a chaos fruit forest.
It was to diversify.
Indeed, yes. So I now produce, instead of like 12 Jack and Bone, I produce 10. And I think I get a piece of chaos fruit instead, which is a great deal.
Yeah.
It's like, 2 crowns versus a throne, one could argue. Ish. But, yeah, really, really fun. And also, rampant growth gives you like some random money, some random herbs. So, really, really good result from that. And it was a very cheap ritual. It was like 5 mana crystal, which I looted on a Friday skirmish. So, It was literally free, as usual, when you're a crime lord. But anyway, very, very fun. Mr. Cambion's friend helped me out. I've forgotten their name. Apologies, but thank you. I think they were a little bit shy about doing a ritual, but it was really well done. Really cool. Really fun. Good bit of RP. And then, slight spoiler for this event, but not only do I have more chaos fruit now, woohoo, I have a piece of metallic fruit thanks to the Winds of Fortune, which we will discuss more about IC. But yeah, they're just throwing different pieces of fruit at us. It's a real smorgasbord. It's just really all
about the fruit right now.
Oh, fruit, yeah.
Love it. I can't wait to hear more about that on the journey to Anvil.
Yeah, I've also had 3 months of working with Moss, and
yes,
you heard it first here. You heard it here first? Yeah, you heard it here first, citizens. There are more Boggarts coming to Anvil.
Woo!
Yeah,
thumbs up for Boggarts. Oh god, I am excited.
Yeah,
I wonder if the autumn Boggarts are anything like the spring ones, or if they're going to be a real menace.
They are
but either way,
different.
I'm just excited.
Yeah, there's some IC letters I'll talk to you later about, but yeah, we better be getting some action.
Woo! Well, I mean, we're expert Boggart wranglers by this point. So
literally what I said in my email. Sorry, letter.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you agree. We'll use this as customer feedback evidence.
This is testimony.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word.
Customer testimony. Yeah, testimony. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's it. Time out, and really, I think quite ingeniously, we thought we don't need to pack down because of the storm. It'll be ages. Let's just go and have a nice slow pack down. We'll pack up around about 6. Mm-hmm. How did that go, Matty?
Well, you left to go and do something or see someone, and then the rain began about 10 minutes after you left.
Yep.
And the panic set in, and we had to just start wildly throwing stuff into tents. Which was a bit of a surprise.
I remember I was packing down around about 4 or so, and I was like, I wonder where Matty is. And then you showed up.
Oh, yeah, so basically
it's the other way around, citizens. I indeed was on site. Matty was the one gone AWOL.
At the beginning part. So I
Matty
know that
did
this
have
isn't
leave.
a rush.
It wasn't AWOL.
I know that Chris wasn't in a rush. I knew that already. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and like say goodbye to people,
enjoyed
see people, just some
time with
chatting.
friends. We caught up with like the noobs.
Yeah, I sat there for ages. I was actually chatting with the LARP noobs for quite a while because I'd borrowed some stuff from.
Sorry, who are the LARP noobs?
Ian. Don't worry about it. They're friends of ours.
Gotcha.
You don't know them.
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
But yeah, we were just having a chat. I sat in their camp for ages. I love them all to pieces, so I just had to sit down. And we were just talking about the event in general, and how things had gone. Blah blah blah. There's a lot of like IC stuff that post Larkin's death.
It's always a shame when a storm hits or something, because you really need that time to like decompress after the event. It's just nice catching up.
Yeah, and once again, it's always like alarming when people like cars suddenly come on. Or
I know, it's so sad.
People go home early, and you're like, like I get it logistically, but also why do we have to?
Do we have to go? We're not staying.
So quite a few people that ran off that I didn't get to say goodbye to because they just had to get out, just in case. In the end, it was fine. The rain. Oh my gosh, I think, Chris, you came back just like as the rain was coming and the wind was coming, and we just kind of stood outside, like
that was after I brought the car up, and it was actually like watching the apocalypse kick off. Parked up, and then we stood there waiting for it to envelop us.
Yeah, so I'd gone to the LARP news, then I'd gone and checked in with you, and you said, oh no, this time. So I'd gone for a walk over to Highguard to see some people, ended up chatting for ages, and looking back towards the forest of Navarre, I was like, oh, it's getting quite dark. So that's when I wandered back, and you were like, oh, we'll just pack some stuff, as the rain comes. It should be fine, we'll be done by then. And lo and behold, no, you got back with the car, the rain had already started, I chucked everything into the tent just in case. And we just kind of stood there, like, yelling at the wind. There were quite a few of us that were just like, woohoo, amazing wind, great thunder sound. Oh, it was actually really lovely. It was great vibes for the end of the event, to be honest. I liked it. Spent ages chatting with Kit and his lovely wife and his awesome children. They're so cool. And he's looking after the storage unit now as well, which is really helpful. So I've left a whole bunch of stuff with them. And
what an event,
we headed home. Yeah.
What an event. I was exhausted. I slept on the way home. The McDonald's on the way home was very needed. Other supermarket chains are available. Other toasty chains are not. Jabberwocky, thank you.
Yeah, Jabberwocky's the only toast chain for us. We'll make a jingle for it for next time.
Maybe Jabberwocky was the word. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll have to wait until our E3 analysis to find out the results of this competition.
Or ask us on Thursday next week.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah, just corner us. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can remember.
Yeah. Pog.
That's all I can remember. Oh yeah, and I failed miserably to get a bin bag into the what's it called? The skip. That was the last thing that really happened.
Wow. Are we really leaving it on that depressing note?
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Well, look, we've got E3 to come next week. And there's Winds of War coming out.
I think we record
Alright, let's
this.
rewind it to the
No,
that was a good ending.
I think we pre-record E3 next week. We just predict it.
Should we write? Oh, we should.
I think we should do a predictions, pre-predictions one
episode, but not like pre-LARP as in Thursday. I mean, like pre-LARP of our expectations for the event.
Yeah, I like that.
We can delay publishing that episode for 6 weeks, so it looks like we're getting prepared for the next event.
Genius.
Yeah.
Why are all your expectations based on the E3 Winds of War? Don't worry about it.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't worry about it. It's still relevant plot.
Sorry, orc gloves in hand, ready to arrest the vibe.
Oh god. Yeah. Is that it? Have we managed to actually complete all 3 days of E2?
Yeah, before
I don't
E3.
quite believe it's happened.
Yeah.
Seems fake, but okay.
GG.
Never a podcast so long. Never an event so big.
Never.
That's it.
I have nothing
I wish
else
I'd stopped the recording
Yeah.
there. That would have been a great. Just cut off.
Well, you can always cut it, can't you?
Can always cut
Anyway.
it.
I could have. Anyway.
Citizens, it's Chris's fault.
Thank
Blame
you.
Chris.
This goes on for so long.
Thank you.
Blame
well,
Chris.
citizens,
See you next time.
It has been my fault. See everyone next time. But not Sol.
Bye.
Sol and I are going to have words. Bye.
Bye.